Hello, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Duo Power podcast. My name is Stefan Due Schmidt.
And my name is Philip Due Schmidt, and we're also known as the Due Power Brothers, and together we decided to make this podcast. This will be the first speed skating podcast about everything speed skating related, both inline and long track speed skating.
Philip and I have been inline skating for the last 17 years, and we've been growing up training, competing, and traveling together. For the last 10 years, we've been combining inline skating in summer with long track ice skating in winter. Our sports have taken us a long way, given us lots of great memories, and we've met so many great people along the way. We've gone from just being small kids playing around on our skates to our first international races and all the way to the Olympics. So today we live as full-time professional athletes, and we're currently training towards the next Winter Olympics in Beijing 2022, where we hope to compete together, side by side as brothers, on the biggest sports scene in the world.
And in this short intro episode, we'll briefly tell you about the idea behind this podcast, why we wanted to make it, and our mission is to give something back to the sport and reflect on what we do and why we do it. We want to help skaters, coaches, and others and tell about this sport that we love. We don't necessarily speak with just the fastest skaters in the sport because they're the fastest. We talk with speed skaters who we think are great people, good role models, and strong characters in one way or another. Anyone in the sport has a different background, and everyone is able to bring something else to the conversation.
Yeah, so I have learned and figured out how to deal with a lot of things in my life because of sports, and at the same time I am very frequently reminded that I far from haven't figured everything out. So my brother and I are continuously on a quest to always learn and get better, which is why we ask all the questions that we want to know the answer to ourselves in this podcast.
Did you ever wonder how some of the best speed skaters in the world became world class? Where did they come from? Which choices and priorities did they make? What were some of their most important breakthroughs and setbacks? And what advice would they pass on to other people who could be in the same situations like they used to be? All these answers to these questions are going to be content of these coming episodes.
So we want to have normal but interesting conversations and not boring sports interviews. Our goal is to show the real person behind the athlete and get to the core of the subjects we talk about. We already tried to have as many as possible of these conversations with our speed skaters friends, so why not record them as well? In each episode, we'll invite one or two of our fellow speed skaters in for a chat and focus on some topics. We'll publish the first 3 episodes here in the very beginning, and after that we'll see how this project will turn out. We have some episodes ready, and we'll upload these every 1 to 2 weeks, so keep an eye out for the new episodes when they drop. We hope you would like to listen along and support by giving us feedback and suggestions for future episodes.
That's more or less it for this special intro episode. In advance, thanks a lot for listening.
Okay, and welcome to the podcast. In this special intro episode, we'll give you a small taste of how it will be in the future episodes with the interviews and the conversations. So in this very first one, it will be a quite short little taste of how the interview will be. And next to me are sitting Philip Due Schmidt, my brother. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So this is also a little bit special in a way because I'm not going to interview every time. Don't worry about that. But I just want to hear real quick from you. You were normally we give an introduction at the start of an interview, and you are obviously my brother, so I've known you for the 22 years of your life. You're 22, and a speed skater like me, and you are my smaller brother, but I think you don't like that term, no?
I'm not the big brother yet, for sure, but
I don't think you're
getting more like just brothers, and there's nobody who's the big or small brother, I think.
You are Philip.
Yeah, I'm Philip, and you are my brother.
Yeah, and I'm Stefan. But I think, sorry to disappoint you, but I think you're never going to be the big brother. I don't think that's how it works with time, just so you know.
No, probably not.
So my first question to you is, where are you right now? And what are you doing? Just for the listener.
I'm in Salt Lake City, or actually I'm staying in Park City, a little bit further into the mountain area, so higher altitude. And we're training on the ice in Salt Lake City. The ice is about to open. We're in the beginning of August, and we're here to skate on, to do long track speed skating and pursue our dream of the coming Olympics in Beijing in 2022.
Sweet. Sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
And next question, a little bit a different subject, but just for the listeners as well, how would you describe yourself comparison to me? Like, how are you different than me, your bigger brother? How are you different?
I just said I was not the smaller brother, but I probably am, because when I was smaller, I was not talking that much, and you were talking for me. So I guess it's always been a bit like that. So I'm a little bit more shy, but also when it comes to daily life and skating, I'm maybe a little bit more focused on details, and you're more focused on the overall. How do you say it? You push the some
overview.
of the You think more about the overall idea of the training, and I think more about the details in the training, and that's why I think we're also helping each other, like to make each other better.
Yeah, we're a little bit like the yin and yang thing, the black and the white, the contrast is in a way.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of clashes during trainings, like brother clashes.
Yeah.
Where you would have the detail and I would have the overview, and we'll have these weird discussions. But I think in the end, we're making each other better for sure. And you've been a great training partner for all my life, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So just to describe, like you said, you were a lot shyer when you were younger, but I think now when you've been growing up, like last ice season, I was not skating as much as you were, and all of a sudden it was like you knew all these ice skaters, which I did not know, and then they were like, oh, this is your brother, this is like the brother from Philip, and normally they always said like, oh, Philip, he's the brother from Stefan, but now it was the other way around. How did that feel?
I think it's a part of growing up as well, and senior skater now, both on inline and ice, but I still feel like I'm a new senior skater, so
I do too, don't worry.
Yeah. But some people thought I was you in the beginning as well, but then they figured out that you were not skating that much.
I hope you made a good impression then.
But they just they thought I was the one who skated the Olympics and stuff like that. So I guess that was a compliment. but then they figured out that you was on inlines in South America. So
okay, yeah. So talking a little bit about general, because I'm all about general, just like you mentioned. I'm all about the overview, the general. How would you describe your process from being like 5 years old and starting on skates until now when you're 22 years old? Like, which mental stages did you go through? Like, if you can give like an overview or a summary of like the stages mentally, and where are you at now? Like, where do you, like you said, you feel like a junior still, or a new and senior or something like?
Yeah, if we go all the way back to the beginning when I started skating, I was just like we said, the smaller brother who had to skate because his big brother skated and his father skated. So I started 1 year after you, and then I just I like training, and I trained more, and then somehow, like, after being a really bad skater, to be honest, when I was like maybe I was 13 or so, and then I won my first international competition on inlines and figured out that because I trained that much and more than most of my competitors, I actually also got better than most of them. But yeah, from there, like to now, like right now I'm in a new like transitioning state to I'm in a place where I'm feel like I'm still learning how to skate on ice, even though I skated 10 years on ice, because it's a very technical sport, and on inlines I still feel like I'm a better skater, but that's why I'm here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and I think I understand that phase, because that's kind of the phase I'm still in, even though I went to the Olympics and all. You're still trying to figure it out. Once you hit senior, that can be a really hard point, because you're not competing as a junior for the top anymore. You're like, you need to make a big steps to improve to get up there again. But like at the beginning, you're a kid. It's just fun. Then you get older. Then it starts being about the results. Then you become a senior. Then all of a sudden, the results are a lot harder. And then we're here now. Yeah.
Yeah, and last year I had my first like full long track speed skating senior season, and that was a bit like I didn't have any expectations or anything, no pressure at all. But from now on, there's a little bit more pressure, because now I'm in this Olympic cycle and I have to kind of improve a lot to become an Olympian and to qualify for the Olympics. And then like now it really matters, and now I have to put a lot of hard work into it, and I've always done it, but it doesn't mean that you will make it. We'll see.
Yeah, it always feels like that, bro. Don't worry about it. I felt the same like 2 or 3 years out from the Olympics. Like, this is an impossible task, but you just gotta keep doing what you always been doing, training hard. So last question today, like going forward with this little project we got going on right here. What would you like to get to know through the podcast, or what do you want to know the answer to? Like, what do you hope to get from this project, except from giving something back to the sport for yourself? What do you hope to get from the podcast or off talking with people?
I hope to learn something. I hope to hear like different stories that are different than I thought they would be. Like sometimes when you see on social media, you see someone who's posting something, you see some of the best skaters, like it looks like everything is going well for them, and then I would like to hear what kind of struggle they had, and what's the why are they skating, and how, like, it could be a coincidence, like they started skating because some friend did it or whatever, like to hear some of the fun stories from some of the best skaters.
To go one layer deeper than the Instagram post, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if the Instagram post is probably always great, so if it's just great, you want to know how it's great, and if there's something other to all that as well, it's also nice to hear all of those nuances as well. So, okay, great. So, if you're still listening, if you've made it this far in the very first intro episode, we are very much grateful to you, and we appreciate you listening along. And thank you very much. I hope you will keep on listening. Give us your feedback, download the next episodes, and listen along. Thank you for me, Stefan.
Thanks a lot from Philip,
and hope you enjoy listening.